Peter Griffin here. Thanks for dropping by. Hi, everybody. Garbage Bear episode 5 already. First, let's listen to the sellouts. Yep. That was my band. I love this song. Hold on, let me turn this down. All right, so how's everybody doing? I got a great show for you this week. I interviewed Baboo's middle daughter, Merlis. I don't know what a lot of terms mean, new terms for genders and all that. I don't understand the idea behind it. So I'm going to interview her because she knows a lot about it. She's 14, but you're going to find this interview fascinating. It really went well, and you'll learn a lot. So stick with me for that. And then, due to popular response to the last story about driving to El Paso, I've got another story based on true events with amalgamated characters and all names changed from the past, 1995, that not for everyone. Like all my humor, not for sensitive ears. So be fair warned. So we've got interview with a Merlis rated PG or rated G. And then we've got story about going to Kitchener in 1995 rated XXX or whatever the worst rating you can, NC-17. Yeah. So, get the kids out of the room for that half of the show. But first, we've got this delightful interview. I hope you like it. She's very smart. I can't stop listening to this interview. I hope you enjoy it. And thank you, everyone, for listening. I really appreciate it. I'm really doing what I love again. After the band broke up, I had nothing to do. So this podcasting thing gives me something to do, and I'm really enjoying it. And I hope you are too. Okay. Thank you. Here's Merlis. Okay. We're here with Merlis. She prefers to be called Merlis, though, right?
I guess so.
That's what I call her. This is Baboo's 14-year-old daughter. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
Yeah. How's that?
What do you mean?
Is it fun to be her daughter?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And what grade are you in, young lady?
9.
Yeah, you just started grade 9, eh?
Mm-hmm.
How's that going?
Fine for now, actually.
Yeah. What are you taking this semester?
Geography and math.
Oh, yeah?
And something else.
Oh. What's the something else?
I forget. Science?
But haven't you been to the class like several times already?
I have 2 classes in 1 week, and then it alternates.
Oh, so you haven't been to this class yet?
Mm-mm.
Ah, okay. Well, that makes sense. So, Merlis, you had a relative that didn't know what something meant. There's a lot of terms now for gender and sexuality and stuff like that is prevalent in your generation, but people my age don't know, mostly don't know what they mean.
Mm-hmm.
But you are a resident, I don't want to say expert because that'll put pressure on you, but you seem to know a lot more about these terms and that. So I was wondering if you would mind explaining for all the grown-ups and listeners what some of these gender terms mean. And just, so that older people know what it means when they say it. Is that cool?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You ready to get started?
Yeah.
All right. A term that I hear a lot, and I do have no idea what it means. What is a pansexual?
That's somebody who likes any type of person, any gender.
Oh, okay. So it doesn't matter what gender they are?
No, and it's used sometimes with bi as well.
Oh, okay. So they roughly mean the same thing?
Yes. To different people, pan can mean different things, like how much you want to describe it for yourself. But the most agreed upon definition is you like people, you're like gender blind. You like people for their personality only.
Okay.
And sometimes for people it's their appearance as well.
Oh, okay. My friend told me a story about their 11-year-old daughter coming out as pansexual, and she made like a big announcement, like came out to her family, like it was. I just thought that was so cute. All right. Do you know what non-binary means?
Yeah.
What's non-binary, Merlis?
That's somebody who identifies with a gender outside of binary, male and female.
What? Really?
Yes.
Well, what is there besides male and female?
Well, there's non-binary as a whole, like, because a lot of non-binary people don't like labels because it puts them into a binary.
Ah, okay. So it's people who don't want to commit to a gender.
Yes, there's gender fluid people who they switch between male, female, no gender, or
Okay. What is cisgender?
Okay, cisgender. People who are cisgender identify with the gender that they were born as.
Oh, there's a word for that?
Yes. It's the opposite of transgender.
Oh, okay. So I'm cisgender.
You are, yes. So, and I am as well.
Oh, okay. What's gender binary? Do you know that one?
Yes.
What's gender binary, Merlis? Teach me.
It kind of connects to heteronormativity as well.
Heteronormativity?
Yes.
Go
see, you like to make fun of that word, but there is actually a meaning behind it.
Well, I just don't know what it means, so I just throw like new terms around to be funny, but I don't know what any of them mean. What is what is homonormative?
Homonormative. Well, heteronormative is it's the
heteronormative. Sorry.
Yeah, it's the assumption that being straight is preferred and the normal.
Oh, okay. So that's bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought that was a gender.
No.
Okay, so I don't want to be heteronormative?
I don't think that's a word to describe somebody, but like things.
Oh, well, okay. No, but I don't want to be someone who thinks that only normal people are straight.
Right.
Right. So I don't want to be homonormative.
Right.
Okay. Okay. At your generation, what is queer?
Queer. An overall term for people who like the same gender or are aligned with any identity.
But like non-binary identity? I can't believe I just used non-binary. Like someone who's not straight?
Yeah. It's usually for orientation rather than gender.
Oh, okay. Yes. Oh, right. So orientation is sexuality, and gender is like whether you're a boy or a girl.
Yes.
See, I've got a lot to learn. Mm-hmm. What about intersex? Do you know that one?
This one, some people add it into the community, and some people don't.
Okay.
Because it's like another. Hold on, this is like a scientific kind of like third gender. It's people who have mixed chromosomes, so they have like different like mixed different features.
Oh, okay.
So really, it's kind of a huge discussion whether or not they belong in the LGBT community. I don't really know what I think, but some people who are intersex don't like being connected to LGBT. And some people do.
Oh, okay. What is gender dysphoria?
That's something that a trans person experiences when they don't feel like euphoric about their gender identity.
Wow. You're 14? Okay, that was a really good answer, kiddo. Gender non-conforming. What's that? When you do stuff that isn't like your gender, it's supposed to be your gender?
Yeah. It's
like when mom acts like a man?
Exactly. I was going to bring that up. Yes.
She's going to kill it.
Probably.
But she likes tools and she likes man stuff.
Yeah, but
she knows more about cars than me.
That's not man stuff.
Oh, it's no. Okay, you're no longer allowed to call that man stuff.
No. Not like you're no longer allowed to, but in some people's opinions, it's not. Like it's really not man stuff to me. You can be like express yourself femininely and like cars and tools and stuff, it doesn't make you less of a woman. It doesn't make you less feminine.
Oh.
You're not manly for that. You're a woman who likes cars and tools.
Oh, okay. Well, excellent. Well said. What is gender expansive? You know this one?
I've never heard that.
Okay, a person with a wider, more flexible range of gender identity. Oh, so they're like willing to go into different genders? Oh, an umbrella term when referring to young people still exploring the possibilities of their gender.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Do you have any friends who are gender expansive?
I guess so, but I've never heard that term before.
Oh, you know. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
I think that's just like questioning.
Oh, okay. One thing I wanted to ask you, Mason mentioned that you have trans people at your high school?
Yes, plenty.
Plenty?
A few. There's like a couple.
And how, like, they're just kids in high school that dress like a different gender?
They are. They are different gender than what they were born as.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Yeah, you're right. See how old, like, my thinking is? I'm not, this is why I need you. Okay. Did we ask about gender fluid?
I think so, yes.
Oh, okay. What was that one again? Oh, it doesn't have a fixed gender.
Yes.
Okay. So that's like you can be a boy sometimes and a girl other times?
Mm-hmm. Or neither. Or neither.
Oh, okay. One of my favorite killers is Ezra McCandless, and I think she is gender fluid. She's one of my favorite murderers if you ever get a chance on YouTube. Okay. Ezra McCandless. Okay. What is, well, transgender? That's when you change, right?
Yes, that's when you transition.
Okay. Tell me about pronouns. Like I saw on Twitter, that, what's her name? Demi Lovato wants to be called they? What the hell is that?
All right. I actually really like explaining pronouns.
Okay.
So hold on. Where should I start?
I see. I can't help because I don't know.
All right, let's start with Demi Lovato. So,
okay.
I'm pretty sure they came out as non-binary as well.
Oh, did she? Okay.
They.
Oh, they. Did they? No. Why did she want to be called they?
Well,
is she more than one person?
They is commonly used as a singular pronoun. In regular language, it's you can use it to somebody who you don't know the gender of. Like if you met somebody, and they were talking about their friend, you don't know.
Oh,
yeah.
So what she's saying is that she doesn't want gender to be. She doesn't want you using gender to describe her. She's just a person. Yeah. Oh, okay. Oh, are you banging the?
Yeah, I accidentally did.
Oh, you got to turn that mic towards you, honey. It's not by your mouth anymore. There we go.
I hit it too many times.
Oh, yeah. Your voice just got a lot better. Okay. So what are some other pronouns people use? And like, what is with the pronouns? Why do people say they want different pronouns?
Okay. So first of all, pronouns aren't like exclusive, to one gender or anything. Like you can use he, him and, be non-binary, or, she, they be non-binary, they, them be cisgender.
Okay. Say that slow. You don't have to use she, even if you're non-binary?
You don't have to use she if you are cis, and you don't have to use they if you're non-binary. Though, people do prefer, to not be referred to, the non-binary people prefer not to be referred to as he or she because they have connotations to them of male and female.
Right.
Some cis people, they like to use a mix of pronouns. Like a cis man could use he, she, or he, they, or.
Hold on, I gotta look up cis. What's cis again? Oh, cis is when you're actually what you were born as.
Yes.
Okay, go on.
There's neo pronouns as well. A lot of people don't accept those even in the LGBT community.
What, the neo pronouns?
Neo pronouns like like Zer.
Zer?
Yeah. What are some others?
And what
is fair? Listen, they do sound a little bit like stupid. They sound like silly.
Lord of the Rings-ish.
Yeah, they do. But they honestly is I don't use them, so I mean I don't want to be offensive or anything, but they sound silly sometimes. But oops.
It's okay.
They sound cool, in my opinion. All of them. They sound cool, even if they're like buns, like bun bunny, like, you know. It's just like you want to have a cool pronoun because it doesn't matter. That's combating heteronormativity.
Oh, okay. So your generation is saying, like, forget genders, forget identities, forget.
Yeah.
It's not important.
No labels. It's not important. You can just sound cool if you want to sound cool.
Okay.
Though a lot of neurodivergent people like to use some neopronouns as well.
Okay.
Because I believe it's because they will identify with them better or understand them better.
Okay.
Than ones like.
Do people your age still think about getting married? Like, is it still a traditional outcome for you? Like, do you dream of getting married, or what do young people want to do with their lives now romantically? I don't know. You know what I'm asking?
Yeah. The most popular opinion is a lot of people don't care about getting married anymore.
Okay.
I don't.
You don't care about getting married?
It's not like tradition or anything to me. It's just like, if you want to, then do it. I mean, legally, stuff like that.
Okay. When people our age get it wrong, is it offensive to you? Like, to your younger ears, is it offensive, or are we just old people?
What do you mean get it wrong?
Well, when I called Demi Lovato her, like, is that something she would punch me for?
No. A lot of trans people, especially, they're very understanding, and
that's I can't believe there are open trans people at a high school, because honestly, in 1985, if a trans person would have shown up, there would have been pieces of them in the hallway.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying that's cool, but I'm just saying that tolerance and understanding of the issue has come a long way, my friend. That's all. Okay. Homophobic. I know that one. Okay. What's when you go LGBTQ? What the Qs? What is going on there?
What do you mean, like the pluses, or what Q means?
What's the plus? There's a plus?
Yeah. So it's usually LGBTQ plus. Listen.
Is that extra strength?
That's what do you mean? That's for micro labels. Okay, so there's lesbian,
mm-hmm.
gay,
mm-hmm.
bi, trans.
Well, I'm still with you.
Queer.
What's queer? I think you covered it all, didn't you?
The queer, the just general overall queer.
Like weird, or
no?
Just sexually not normal.
Normal.
Oh,
this is what we're talking about. Normal. It's not unnormal.
Yeah, I caught myself as I said that, so I really need to adjust my thinking.
That's okay. That's your normal. It would be better if you were to understand more.
Yeah,
that's your normal, but definitely don't be outwardly hateful towards LGBTQ.
Oh, never. Oh my God, all my friends were gay. I was a lesbian for like 4 years. I seriously was. I hung around with just lesbians. It was me and a posse of lesbians, and we went everywhere together. And it was so fun.
That's hilarious.
And I'd be sitting at a table with them, and another lesbian would come up, and she would introduce herself to everyone at the table except me, because I'm invisible to other lesbians. I can't even see me. We used to laugh so hard. I'm like, I could rob a lesbian bank. I could just walk in, grab the money, walk out, and none of them would be able to even see me. But yeah, I love my lesbians. And I would never, I'm not saying any of this to be offensive. I just don't.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm relying on you to, So what about, is coming out still a big deal? When do you come out? Is it something you are scared to do and live in the closet for years, or do people just come out now? It's
all different for all different kinds of people. People in accepting areas will probably be less scared to come out. Though I feel like it's probably still a big deal for everybody, because there's such a large amount of people who still don't care so much about LGBT.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you mind if I ask you some more lifestyle questions about younger people? Because I really want to know.
Yeah, sure.
All right. When I was in grade 9, there was a lot of pressure to start smoking, start drinking, start doing drugs.
Mhm.
All the cool kids were doing that. Is it still like that in high school?
There's not really much of a cool system anymore. It's everyone's their own person.
Oh, there's no such thing as cool anymore?
There's cool and weird and everything, but from like a lot of people that I know specifically, there's more like everybody can just do what they want, I guess.
Okay. Well, is there still like a popular crowd? Are there still mean girls? Is that gone now?
There is a popular crowd. I have a popular crowd. I haven't come across anything like that in high school, but in elementary there was, of course, people who had more friends were popular, but that's just elementary.
Okay, but they weren't called the cool kids or anything.
No.
And like you guys doing your stuff was just as cool as whatever they're doing.
Absolutely.
Well, that's interesting.
That's how it was.
That's interesting. So all of the what do I call it? The case system, the social hierarchy is disappearing, and people are just people.
Yeah, somewhat. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I kind of wish it would pretty much go away.
Mm.
There's still if you like people, some people will think other people are cooler, of course, and some people will think other people are weirder.
Yeah, you'll have your preferences. But like when I grew up, there was a character on TV called Fonzie. Have you ever heard of Fonzie?
I don't think so.
Arthur Fonzarelli. He was on a show called Happy Days, and he was cool. And he would snap his fingers, and girls would come over. He was like, "Ee," and he put his thumbs up. And I don't know. There were cool kids when I was growing up, and it mostly involved harming yourself and lowering your chances in your future. Mm-hmm. That was cool.
Well, there's definitely people who still think stuff like that's cool.
Yeah.
Though I know I don't know if it's really so much anymore, but for a while, a couple of years ago, cooler was being smarter.
Really?
Yeah, at least where I've been.
It was hip to be square?
Yeah.
Wow.
Smart, like not if you did well and you were kind and nice, you're cooler rather than being dumb and mean and
right. So, okay, but what we didn't really touch on drugs or booze. Is there any pressure to do them?
I'm not sure.
No one's ever tried to get you to come partying?
No, not me, no. There are like vaping, I guess, is more popularized.
Yeah, does anybody still smoke cigarettes?
I haven't met anybody who does.
Yeah, that would be like an old school move now.
I guess so, yeah.
Do a lot of kids vape?
A lot, yeah.
That's got nicotine in it too, right?
Yeah, it's still bad.
Wow. What do the teachers say? Do they do it indoors and stuff?
No kid ever is allowed to or anything.
Oh, okay. And drugs, you haven't seen anyone smoking pot or doing anything at school?
No, I mean, I've only been there for a week, but no.
What school? You go to Walkerville, right?
Yeah.
And you're in an artist program?
I'm not in a program yet, no.
Oh, I thought you were in the artistic thing.
No, I didn't have time to do that with COVID.
Oh, right. Because you're a very talented artist.
Somewhat.
14 years old and you're drawing like an adult. Okay, so there's not as much. What about parties? How come you guys don't have parties? I've never seen you go to a party.
Well, me? That's just me.
Oh, you just like to stay home?
Mason, for sure, he would probably love to.
Your brother Mason?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so there still are partiers. You're just not one of them.
Yeah, I'm sure there's probably like a lot less though.
Yeah,
there's, like a lot less crazy parties. I mean, because people are still they're, as I said before, they're just kind of their own friend groups. Even if they're big, they're still combined friend groups. Just like
right. And I guess is it because you can communicate online so often, you don't need to get together as much too?
That's definitely.
Yeah. Have you ever experienced bullying of any kind? Do they still bully?
Not in high school.
No?
There's obviously going to be people being picked on, but especially not in my high school is really nice. Every teacher is nice and understanding. A lot of the students, some aren't, but a lot of the students are also like friendly artists and LGBT allies and everything like that.
This is Walkerville.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really like it. It's nice.
When I go pick you guys up at school at 3, I watch the kids walk by, and there seems to be a lot of like goth kids and like, you know, they're dressing like Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is a reference you do not understand. I don't. But they're dressing very gothic. Is that a thing right now? Is that the style?
Yeah, a very popular style. I guess. What people call the style, I guess, is alt, like alternative.
Okay.
Which is usually a music genre or political thing, but it's a style now by social media.
Okay. And what happened to sports? Do people still? Do you know any athletes?
I do.
Oh, you do? People still play sports?
Yeah, of course. People like all kinds of things. Just because one thing's popular doesn't mean people still don't like other things.
Oh, well, I've never heard any of you mention a sport.
I don't like sports. Mason used to like sports. Dane's been more of an art person. None of my friends really like sports, but...
Mason is your middle brother and Dane is your oldest brother?
Oh, right. Yes.
18-year-old Dane. Okay. What do you see... first, let me say that I really appreciate, you helping me with this. And I'm going to come up with a list of more young people's shit that I don't know what it means. Okay. And you'll be back. But I really appreciate you, helping clear this up for me. But I do want to ask you, what do you see for your future? Where's a Merlis going? I'm even going to call you by your correct name. What do you picture for like 10 years from now? What are you doing?
Man.
A man?
I said, oh man.
Oh, okay.
I really don't know. I don't especially have any passionate hobbies or anything.
Oh, are you waiting to discover one or what's going on?
I guess so.
Okay. Are there kids in your future?
No.
No? I get the feeling a lot of kids are not going to have kids.
No, probably not.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. When you hear stories about the way it was in the old days, what do you think about it? Like when I tell you that a trans person would have been beaten to death in the parking lot before they got into the school in 1985, where I went to high school. What does that make you feel?
Well, very, very angry. Well, kind of sad, I guess.
Yeah. People were, when you're alive in a certain era, you don't think you're barbaric. But then, 20 years later, people point out your behavior and you go, oh, my God, I didn't realize it. That's what I think about. I'm surprised you're not vegan because you're that kind of person. Don't you think that eating meat like 50 years from now will be laughed at as the most barbaric thing we ever did?
It might. But a lot of vegans, they do it more for reducing human consumption stuff,
right?
And I guess like eco-friendly stuff. It's not really about disliking meat, although. Oh,
so that's just an environmentally conscious thing.
Yeah, like that.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you, I don't know if Mom told you or not, but I've had 2. What are they called? Invisible Whoppers? What are they called? Ultimate Whoppers? The vegan Whopper. Right. What do they call it?
I forget.
Oh, okay. Well, I've had 2 of those Ultimate Whopper things, and they're delicious. You can't even tell it's not meat. Yeah. Well, I don't think it would be vegan, right? Because there's bread.
Yeah, I don't think so. Unless it's like milk-free bread.
Oh, okay. And are you ever going to go veg or vegan or any of that stuff?
No, I don't think so right now. But I might. I mean, it's not like a hate like vegetarians or anything.
Okay. Well, is peer pressure still a thing? When I was in high school, I acted in a way that I'm not constantly because there was just so much pressure to seem cool and bad, that I kind of screwed up my whole high school career. Is there still pressure to misbehave and screw around?
I think there is still, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably not as much, but there definitely is. It's mostly sorry.
It's okay. No, sweetheart, you're doing great.
It's a lot of the times by kids kind of think of themselves, like they hear one thing, small thing online, and they kind of build a personality around that, something that they see.
And okay, what about dating people from other races? When I was a kid, that was a big deal. Like, there was a TV show called The Jeffersons, which I don't expect you to know. And an interracial couple came over and there was just outrage. The whole episode was like,
really?
What do we do with this? Yeah. Oh, yeah. This is new.
Really?
Yeah. So as far as dating other races, is that just a forgotten issue? Is that nothing?
No thoughts.
That's a nothing sandwich for guys your age, people your age. Yeah. Well, that's good. It seems like you kids are getting better, but the world, you're inheriting a world that sucks way worse.
Mm.
All right, everyone. The interview with the Merlis went so well that I'm going to cut it in 2 parts because it's very interesting, but I don't want the show to run, hour and a half or whatever. So stay tuned in a coming episode for part 2 of the Merlis interview. And thank her so much for the great job she did. 14-year-old girl. That was smart shit, man. And I feel like I did learn something. So, All right. I think we're going to go to church now. Is that what we're... Yeah. All right. So Father Andre would like to say a few words. If you wouldn't mind standing in your pew for the following special announcement from Father Andre. Greetings, parishioners. Please have a seat. Now is the time in our sermon where I normally speak about Lady Gaga and how attractive I find her. But today I have a very special reading. This is a reading from the Book of Andre, verse 7, chapter 3, entitled, Watching a Midget Get in Kitchener. If you'd like to read along, please turn to your hymnals. If you'd like to read along, please turn to page 69 in your hymnals. Screech and I remained friends after the band we were both in broke up. My friend Evan called and offered to pay my way if I went to visit him in Kitchener, Ontario. He had just gotten a student loan, so instead of paying for a bus ticket, I asked if Screech could drive me down there. I talked to Evan, and Evan said it was okay if I brought Screech. So Screech sat with me until 7 in the morning. I worked all night at a convenience store, so I fed him sandwiches and anything else he wanted. I was the only person in the store. That was essentially my first real job after I temporarily decided to grow up. Big mistake growing up. But anyway, yeah. I was the midnight man at a store, and it was the most boring thing ever, except when mentally ill people would wander in and keep me company after missing out on a bed at the Mission. I had some really good talks with them. The only really funny thing that happened there is one of the single most embarrassing things I've ever been part of. It was a normal night. I showed up at the store for my shift, and the manager told me they were cleaning the floors that night, so I should lock the doors at 3 a.m. when the floor cleaner guys arrive, and then go in the back room and stay back there, off of the clean floor until 6 a.m., then unlock and reopen. It was like 1995. No internet, no screen to stare at, just magazines. So I grabbed a few off the rack after the floor guys got there. I locked the door and went in the back room to wait all night to reopen. There was nowhere to sit, so I kind of made a bed out of the freezer and laid there and read for a while. Well, I was 25 at the time, and one of the magazines I brought back was a Hustler. And I was looking at it and got, So, after the floor guys left and I was locked in the store alone, in the back room, I decided to rub one out at work, laying on the freezer. Back then, flogging the dolphin to a magazine involved all this awkward one-hand page turning, and the mag would fold forward onto your chest. It was a nightmare, but somehow I got the job done. I'm laying there in the glow, drifting off with my pants still around my ankles, when I happened to glance in the corner of the room by the big freezer. Security camera I didn't see, pointed right at me. Fuck. So I pulled out my pants faster than anyone in history and started looking for the VCR that records the cameras. It was locked in the safe. No chance of erasing it. So, 6 a.m. came and I opened the store. At 7, my replacement arrived and I went home, terrified. I didn't sleep all day. I went to work that night and I watched everyone's faces really carefully to see if they watched the tape. Any giggle or amused sound and I was all over it. What's so funny? I asked repeatedly. I don't think they watched it, but I did get fired shortly after, so who knows? There was a guy stealing, and she couldn't prove who it was. I knew who it was, but there was a guy stealing, and she couldn't prove who it was, so she fired like a bunch of us. And it wasn't fair, but whatever. I recovered. Anyway, on this particular day, Screech and I left after my shift at about 7:15 a.m. I got the idea to stop at an old friend. Let's call her Mula's place in London, Ontario, on our way to Kitchener. Mula was always completely nuts. If there hadn't been a Roseanne, there would have been a Mula. I got her to do stand-up comedy once and wrote some of her jokes. A star was born that night. She never did it again, but I will never forget how famous she could have been. Imagine a 300-pound woman saying things like, yeah, I went for a pap smear the other day and the doctor grabbed a big stick with a hook on the end of it and fished out Elvis. She said something about dislocating her shoulder while reaching around to wipe her ass, and another one about her Weight Watcher class all joining hands to give her the Heimlich maneuver when she choked on a free sandwich. I might not know everything, but I know talent when I see it. We got to her house at about 10 in the morning. By 11, we were drinking hard liquor. Mula was always about as hard to talk out of her clothes as an escort in a hurry. I'll never forget, we were playing strip poker, just the three of us, and Mula kept losing. Mula was wearing overalls and a t-shirt, and when she lost her top and bra, she still had the overalls on. Screech kept making faces whenever she'd turn around because she had this fat on her back that hung so loosely it looked like wings. Mula's huge tits stuck out and slumped from either side of her overall straps. Mula was soon naked and she wanted to give someone a blowjob. I wasn't feeling it, so I told Screech, "You enjoy." Before I left the room, I watched Mula take a long, deep suck on Screech, and I remember she closed her eyes. The poor dear actually felt passion. How odd. Mula finished Screech off while I went looking around her big apartment. If you've ever been a guy, you know that the second you finish fucking a girl you're not attracted to, you wish you had a jet engine on your back to get you out of there. Screech wanted to leave now, so there was a lot of anxiousness in the room. Mula made the suggestion we go to Burger King for lunch before Screech and I left for Kitchener. We were broke, so since she was buying, we jumped in the car. On the way into the restaurant, Mula was all drunk and started a war of words with a homeless guy who asked her for some change. Mula bought us a feast, and as we were finishing it, an angry-looking fellow marched up to our table. Enter Mula's boyfriend and owner of the jeans I saw that didn't belong to Mula at her house. You could tell this guy knew what was up. We knew, she knew, everybody knew. The guy didn't want to tangle with us, but he was cussing her out something awful. I looked over at Screech and asked him if he had to use the toilet. Yeah, that's a good idea. We took off out the back door. I never ran so fast. I remember Mula chasing us and yelling insults down the street. Sorry, honey. We got back in the car, and after the awkwardness of what had just happened that we should never mention again wore off, we laughed all the way to Kitchener. By this time, I'd been up since 8 p.m. the night before, and it was mid-afternoon. Meeting up with Evan took some doing. He was living in a dorm, and we had to stagger around drunk and overtired until we accidentally found him. Greetings were exchanged, and then Evan broke the news that he hadn't gotten as much as he thought from the good people at Student Loans. I felt bad because he had promised to pay for everything, and now he would be spending money he really needed. Evan said it was no problem, so off we went. We spent the afternoon on a tour of Kitchener's seedy underbelly. Evan was like me. He would rather go to a dive of a strip bar than one of those high-class places filled with silicone sisters who sit down with you and won't leave until you buy a lap dance. In a dive strip bar, the girls are less aggressive, usually. It was fun to hang with Evan. He had a picture taken with 98 Triple F Lulu Divine. You can see me in the corner of the shot laughing my ass off. By this time, Screech and I had invented heroin chic. We were a mess. Drunk, tired, smelly, overstimulated, and approaching too old for this shit. That could only mean one thing. After all the fun I had previously had with Loretta, I knew it was time to go to a gay bar. We went to the gay bar and it was packed. I've never had a problem with gay people. I like them and would party in a room full of gays before a room full of straights anytime. Gays don't care if you're wild. The bartender had one of those leather suits with the ring in the middle on his chest and the straps coming out of it. I ordered an umbrella drink and played with the metal ring when he brought it back. Shut up, it was funny. Eventually, me, Evan, and Screech got on the dance floor to boogie for a while. There was the most beautiful guy there. I mean, if you were gay, you'd want him for your steady. He looked like Jim Morrison's powdery sister. Even Screech tells the story now by describing him as this really good-looking guy. Well, the guy had a shirt on that was a play on the Coke label. It said, "Enjoy cock," in all the same colors as the pop can. We've danced all we can dance. It's not so funny anymore. We're standing at the corner of the bar when the Iron Javelins walked in. They were a leather-clad biker gang of ravingly gay men right out of Central Casting with the chaps and thongs underneath. Yeah, they were wearing leather chaps with thongs underneath it. They seemed like any other biker gang if you ignored the fact that their Johnsons were sticking out at you. They were all wearing biker vests with a logo that was a javelin with a mushroom for a head. You see what they were going for? Oddly, the only one not dressed up like this was a midget, well, little person, who was apparently also in their gang. They had a little person in their gang, but he wasn't wearing the chaps or anything. He was dressed normally. Time passed, drinks flowed, the disco pounded, many laughs were had. Sometime later, amidst the melee, the Iron Javelins assembled into a circle. Being of a curious nature, the three of us went over to witness whatever gay biker ritual was about to take place. This is not a lie. The Iron Javelins had surrounded the midget, and they had all taken out their penises by moving the band-aids they had covering them, and as a group, they were now the midget. They would shove the midget as hard as they could until he crashed into a random biker in the circle. The biker would then grab the midget and make him suck on his penis. That's as gently as I can put it. The midget would get 2 or 3 good sucks and then boom, the biker would shove him across the circle to the next biker. The poor midget was like a pinball in hell. The iron javelins were laughing so hard they were doing erection wheelies while the midget bounced back and forth, filleting wherever he landed. I'm not a biker, but I would hesitate to join a gang that didn't have a midget. It seems like the perfect accessory to all those live to ride, ride to live midget stickers you see. 2 years ago, Evan was in London, Ontario, and recognized the biker midget. I guess he moved to London after that. All right, so we made it. I hope you enjoyed that story. It makes me laugh. But I will say, you know, I'm not trying to say that this behavior or these actions or any of this was good or do I recommend it. I mean, it's what happened in the early 80s, partying. So these stories are all I have to leave the world, you know, behind, other than, you know, some acts of kindness and so forth. But these are my stories. So I hope you like them. I hope they make you laugh. I hope they teach you some lessons about what not to do. Sorry about my voice. I DJ'd a wedding last night with the guys. It was super fun. Those guys are total pros. They show up at 8 a.m. to set up their gear, and they're ready to go, and every I is dotted, every T is crossed. And it's a real pleasure to work with them. Very nice guys. Very, very sweet fellas. And so we had a lot of fun. And they, because they've been around so long and they're such professionals in the Windsor-Essex County area, they book like high-end weddings. So last night I was eating lamb chops and coconut shrimp and all kinds of stuff. And we've been invited to the bar, whatever we want, by both weddings we've worked so far. But, you know, I quit drinking, so me and Baboo don't drink or anything. We just, do our job, and it's good. It's good practice because, we were gone so long with the pandemic and that, so it's fun. And I got to sing the hip. They always let me sing the hip with them. I did New Orleans is Sinking. It was nice to be back up there. I was out of breath though afterwards. I'm not in the same shape as I was when the pandemic began. So gonna have to get some cardio going before I get a pacemaker going. So last night I come home and I'm dying of tired, but Baboo wants murder. She needs murder to fall asleep. So I'm watching the show, and it's about Carrie Stainer, and this is a wild story. His brother Steven Stainer, as when they were kids in the 70s, Steven Stainer was kidnapped by a child molester and kept for a long time, but was finally rescued. And there was a movie made called I Know My Name is Steven. And the brother Carrie, you can see him in the background, the rescue and all the famous photos of Steven Stainer being, rescued. You can see him in the background, and he doesn't look happy. In a lot of the pictures, his eyes are all, he's not looking too pleased. And so Carrie Stainer, the brother of the famous Steven Stainer, went on to become a serial killer and killed 4 people in Yosemite Park and was like a real sick bastard. So that's sibling rivalry gone too far. I think, one brother makes the news, so the other one has to make the news too. So he murders 4 people. One thing, I mean, this isn't funny, but it's so odd. And a positive message will come out of it. So Carrie Stainer is in prison. He's been caught, and they don't know where the bodies are. And they're trying to get him to take a life without parole sentence if he'll tell them where the bodies are. Otherwise, they're going to put him to death. So Carrie Stainer says, all right. I'll tell you where the bodies are, but I want something in return. Oh, what's that, Carrie? Kitty porn. He asked for frickin' kitty porn as payment for telling the police where the bodies are, the people he killed. That, I think, is the single worst thing anyone's ever done. Like, I have trouble asking people for, like, minor shit. I have trouble, like, saying, like, oh, you forgot my fries. I feel weird. Imagine standing there looking another grown man in the eye and saying, I'll tell you where all the people I killed are if you give me some kitty porn. So, of course, people. So, of course, he didn't get it, and now he's on death row. So that's the Carrie Stainer and Steven Stainer story done very quickly. It's actually a long story, but that's the one I watched last night while Baboo was already in dreamland. But I just thought it was, you got to admire his initiative. The man knows what he wants. But Christ, take a bath after watching that story. Okay, so this concludes this week's episode. I hope you enjoyed it. We're going to get my dad on the show. That's going to be hilarious. My dad is going to be good for 1,000 laughs. We are considering taking in a third cat. Baboo's father brought a kitten over, and so we're looking to see if we like it. So I think we're going to record figuring out if it's a boy or girl and naming it. I'm going to get the whole family in here. So next week, there will probably be a cat naming contest as part of the fun. I'll try and get another story together. Those are so funny. I'll try and get another one together, but if not, it'll be something funny and unexpected. And again, thank you so much for listening. I'll see you in a short week. We're going to put one of these out every week. So, thanks, everybody. And I'll let the sellouts walk you out the door. I'll see you next week, everybody. Thank you.